This is the church that I was talking about earlier in one of my articles when I was saying I was coming up here to Midway Museum. This was the church I was mentioning right here. It's a pretty nice looking church, if you ask me. Um, but as I was coming here the first time, I came here because, like I said before, I was interested in Charles Colcock Jones and what he shared. And um, it was pretty interesting that he is known as the apostle to the blacks, like I said. So here's the church. First, I probably can't go in there. You got the door. I'm pretty sure it's closed. It is. Yeah. That's pretty cool right there. It says Midway Congregational Church, erected 1792, organized 1754 by descendants of an English colony which came first to Massachusetts 1630, to Connecticut 1635, to South Carolina 1695, and to Georgia 1752. Built on the same spot as the church which was burned by the British in 1778, this church has given to her country 86 ministers of the gospel and 7 foreign missionaries. Midway in St. John's Parish, now Liberty County, was the cradle of revolutionary spirit in Georgia, and 2 of her sons were signers of the Declaration of Independence. Placed by the Brunswick chapter, Daughters of the American Revolution and descendants of the Midway Colony, 1923. All right, so today I'm here because of the simple fact that I'm starting my documentary and I'm putting all that on my Rumble account. That's going to be where most of my stuff is going to be more personal towards me. It's going to have a little sidebar stuff every now and then on there, of course, just to get it up and running. But right now it's going to be me basically putting my documentary on there. And the reason why I'm here is because of this gentleman right here, Dr. Reverend Charles Colcock Jones. Now, this isn't his book that I'm holding in his hand. It's a reprinting of a book that he wrote. And the reason why I got this book is the reason why is because I read it from somewhere else. And I decided to get this one. I have read Dr. Reverend Charles Colcock Jones. I actually compared it just to make sure it was accurate. But this is the book right here. That's the book right there. This is the book right here. This is the book right here. So this is a reprinting of the religious instruction of the Negroes and other works by Dr. Reverend Charles Colcock Jones. Like I said, I've read his previous stuff, but what's interesting in here that I found interesting from his work is that it says the consequence is they do not seem worthy of our regard. They lose all our respect, and it is no marvel if our conduct towards them is dictated by our opinion of them. So that's just something that he wrote in his book. And the reason why I'm here is because right across the other way is the cemetery. But it's his grave site, right? And it's just right over there. I'm going to walk over there, take some pictures. And this is where it happened at. So let's take a look around. Nathan Brownson, Georgia, colonial governor, trustee of the proposed University of Georgia physician Nathan Brownson became governor of Georgia in 1781, serving until January 1782. Prior to this time, Brownson served as a member of the Provincial Congress, which met in Savannah July 4, 1775. He was also a delegate to the Continental Congress from 1776 to 1778 and was a surgeon to a Georgia brigade. Born in Connecticut in 1742, a graduate of Yale College, Brownson studied medicine and practiced that profession in his home state, moving to St. John's Parish, now Liberty County, Georgia in 1764. Active in the cause of liberty, Brownson became one of the leaders in the revolutionary cause. He was one of the delegates to the state convention that ratified the U.S. Constitution in Augusta on 31st December 1787. Nathan Brownson died in Liberty County October 18, 1796, being best remembered as a governor and as one of the founders of the University of Georgia. Dr. Lyman Hall. Dr. Lyman Hall was a Georgia signer of the Declaration of Independence. He represented St. John's Parish in the Continental Congress and was a delegate from Georgia to the Second Continental Congress meeting in Philadelphia. He was a founder of Sunbury, and as a governor of Georgia 1783 to 1784, he gave strong support to education and religion. He was instrumental in obtaining the grant of land, which led to the establishment of the University of Georgia. Born in Wallingford, Connecticut, April 12, 1724, Dr. Hall moved to St. John's Parish, where he purchased the plantation known as Hall's Knoll. He became a leading physician, planter, patriot, and was active in mercantile and shipping circles in Sunbury. Dr. Hall died in 1790 and was buried on his plantation at Shell Bluff Landing in Burke County. In 1848, his remains were reinterred in Augusta beneath the granite obelisk, the Signer's Monument. All right, so this one is Button Gwinnett. And this St. John's Parish, now Liberty County, lived Button Gwinnett, signer of the Declaration of Independence, member of the Continental Congress, Speaker of the Assembly, and President of the Executive Council. He also was a member of the convention that met in Savannah in October 1776, in which he played a prominent part in drafting the first Constitution of the state of Georgia. Born in Gloucestershire, England, I know I probably messed that up, in 1735, son of a Church of England vicar, Button Gwinnett came to Georgia in 1765 and acquired a store in Savannah. He shortly purchased St. Catherine's Island. In this parish, he moved to the island at once and engaged in farming and cattle raising. His business was transacted in Sunbury, then a thriving port. On May 16, 1777, Mr. Gwinnett was mortally wounded in a duel fought on the outskirts of Savannah with General Lachlan McIntosh. Dying on May 19th, Mr. Gwinnett's grave is supposedly in Savannah, but its exact location is unknown and unmarked. One of his rare autographs sold for over $50,000, y'all. So right now, I'm crossing the street to get to the cemetery where Dr. Reverend Charles Colcock Jones rests in peace at. So it's pretty cool. There's the entrance. You got all of these right here. So we're gonna go and find Dr. Reverend Colcock Jones. I can't remember exactly where he was at, but I'll find him. I want to say it was somewhere over here. Well, there we go. Yeah, there we go. I knew it was over here. So right here is Reverend Colcock Jones' gravesite.